What's going on, everybody? My name is Alex, and today I'll be doing a tutorial on how to do, what's his name? Calob Castellon. I probably butchered his name completely. Well, he does these awesome photos. I'll just bring up a couple now. So he does these awesome photos using heaps of like objects floating around the subject. They all have like a neon look to them. It's awesome work. I had a look on YouTube and there was literally nothing doing like any tutorials on how to do his work. So I spent the afternoon on Photoshop trying to like recreate it, and I've brought up a tutorial for you now, so you can actually do these kind of photos. So what you want to do is you want to take a photo. This is the photo I took of my sister. So what I did when I took the photo is, as you can see over on the side of her head, on her hair there's yellow light. So I had my phone on Snapchat and I coloured in the whole screen yellow, turned up the brightness full and held it to give that light on her face. I also had a light coming from underneath her face to light up that area. As you can see in this area of her face, you can actually see the iPad that we used, and we used that to get a white light on this area of her face. And the reason we did this is because we were actually planning the edit before. So I decided before I did the edit that I wanted some yellow symbol up here, logo or whatever, and I also wanted white text on this side. So I planned that and put light in there so we don't have to put anything in afterwards. First of all, what I did is I got this original photo and I chucked it in Lightroom. So we'll bring that up. So here's the photo in Lightroom. All I did is I slightly adjusted it. I actually let it adjust it slightly by itself, but I just changed a little bit, like I changed black, so I dropped that down to -16. And also I, in color, since the yellow, it was originally like that, and there wasn't actually, you couldn't see much yellow light in her hair. So what I did is I increased the saturation and luminance to give more of a yellow effect. And so I exported that. So what you want to do is you want to open up Photoshop and open up the file that we just exported out of Lightroom. And there we have it. So I always unlock the background layer and duplicate it just to have that safety if we mess up the bottom layer. So what we're going to want to do is we want to plan out what we're doing first. So we're wanting text here in this corner. We would like maybe some yellow logo. I'm thinking another yellow logo here, and also maybe a Google search bar, because in one of his photos he had a Google search bar and I reckon it looked pretty cool. So what you want to do is you want to just go over to the internet, search up a logo. That one there might be good, trade me, but I'll just search up Snapchat and it'll be yellow. I can just use this logo here, so we'll drag that in there and make that bigger by going Command T or Control T for Windows users, and that is alright. Okay, so make it slightly smaller. And what I noticed is when he does his photos, he plays around with perspective of the logos a lot. So what we want to do is first we want to get rid of these the white on the outside. So I'll just use the magic wand tool and select that and delete it, and we can get rid of that, and that's pretty good. There's still a little bit on the outside, but we'll fix that later. So what you want to do is you want to search up perspective, and it'll come up, so it's under edit, perspective warp. So click that and then you drag over the image you want, and this is the first plane, and then you go over and you click warp, and then when you move these it'll move the planes and the perspective of the actual logo itself. So you kind of want it to be going on an angle from right to left. Okay, so I've got it how I like it. I just click this tick or click enter and it'll keep it like that. And now we have this, and so now that we've got the perspective that we want, what we can do is we can give it a glow and that neon effect. So what you want to do is you want to go to layer 1, which is the layer that we're using of the Snapchat logo, and go down to outer glow, and tick that. And what you want to do is you want to click that little white box which brings up the color of the glow, and then as you can see here we have a little dropper, and that'll change the color depending on where we drop. So we're wanting a yellow glow, so we will click the yellow and click OK. And then what you can do is spread makes it look terrible, just forget that. Have opacity around 90%, have size however much you want. I recommend around 224, somewhere around there, and it'll give it a nice kind of glowing effect, and you can play with that however you want. So what I decided is I didn't want that much glow on the outside, so I just dropped down that bar a little bit. And next thing you want to do is you want to go up closer, and we'll use the magic wand again, and we can select the white inside of it. So then we will cut and paste the white bit, and we can put that back in the middle. Doesn't have to be perfect, and we can do the same thing that we did with the yellow. So we will go to outer glow, and we'll have to change the color of that to white, and then I'll bring it down slightly so it's not overpowering the black. So there we have the first object in the photo. Next I am going to put a bit of text behind a face. So what I'll do is I'll go over to the internet and I will search up Wikipedia film photography. And we'll go on to the first one, and I'll scroll down until I see somewhere, there we go, somewhere where it's not hasn't got pictures or weird things in it. So I'll just make this smaller. That's about as thin as we want it. So we'll go to the bit, we'll go to color, and I'll screenshot. For Apple users it's Command-Shift-4. I'm not sure how to do it on Windows. So you just drag and do the screenshot like that, and then you can hop over here and just minimize that, and we'll chuck the screenshot in here. So now that you've got the screenshot, you can play around with the perspective of how you would like that. So I kind of want it on an opposite angle to the Snapchat logo, so everything's not going in that same direction. So edit, perspective warp, and we have the plane, click warp, and then we can play with the plane. I think that's pretty good how I have it now, actually. I'm happy with that. Okay, sweet. So next thing you want to do is you want to get rid of all of the white in the photo that is surrounding all of the black text. And we actually, in the end, we want the black text to be white, but I'll get to that later. So what you want to do is you want to go to select and color range. So then what we're wanting to do is we're wanting to select all of the white. So I think it's actually already selecting white. If it's not, you have the little color dropper and you just click the white. And you want fuzziness around how I had it before, 85%. And you click OK. And what that'll do is in this photo, it'll select all of the white. So what you want to do is, since it's a smart layer, we just want to invert the selection, so it's just copying the black. We want to Command C for command copy and paste it, and then we can get rid of this layer, and we have the layer that is just the text. And as you can see, it looks pretty terrible. So what you want to do is you want to double click the layer that is the text, and then go to color overlay, and then have it opacity 100% and set to white, and that will make the text look nice. And as you can see, there is a slight fringing around the edge. There's just pixels everywhere, so what you want to do is you want to just use an eraser and just get rid of that. So before I give the text a glowing effect, I said before that I want the text to actually go behind her face. So what I'm going to do is, in the areas where the text goes over her face, I want to rub it out except for the space in here where the glasses, you'll actually be able to see the light, the text in behind it. So I'm not actually going to add a glowing effect right yet, as I said before that I want the text going behind her. So what I'm going to do is everywhere where the text is going in front of her face, I'll rub it out, and also in here, in the gap in this area where her glasses are, you would realistically actually be able to see the text in behind her glasses, but we'll do an effect for that later. So we're just gonna rub out all the areas that is overlapping her face. Okay, so now I have finished rubbing out the bit where it overlaps her face, and now what I want to do is in this area, I want to make it still rub it out but have the opacity down a bit so it gives it kind of like a darker effect. So I'll just see, yeah, that looks right like that. So I'll do that nicer. I'll go up closer and I'll do that without rushing. So I'm pretty happy with how that's looking. So realistically, the frame around the glasses would actually have the text rubbed out. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go over here and make my brush a lot smaller and zoom up. And so here's the rim here, and we'll make the opacity back to 100%. There we go, so now I have finished that and it looks awesome. I'm happy with it. So now we can add the glowing effect to it. So what we'll do is we'll do the exact same thing that we did before. We double click on the layer that we want. We go to outer glow, and it's already how we want it, but what we want to do is maybe bring down the size a little bit, because it is, no, I kind of like how it is. We'll keep it at that. And yeah, that's looking pretty good how it is. So for the other objects, it's pretty much the exact same process. I'll show you with one more how you can do a cool effect. If we search up Trade Me, and we just grab this logo, we can chuck it in here and make it slightly bigger. So as you can see on the edge, there are different colors. There's on these edges there's yellow on the outside, and on these edges there's blue. So what you can actually do is you can go to the magic wand, select the blue, copy it, paste it, and we'll just leave that there, and we'll, on that layer, we can do outer glow, and we can bring up that size and change the color to the blue. We can do the same for the yellow in the photo, so we'll select that and copy it and paste it, double click on the layer, go outer glow and change the color to the yellow. And what you'll see there is there's been a little bit of an error in here. I'll fix that later. But we can see is it's done the glow on each side. On each side where there's a different color, there's a different colored glow, and that actually gives it a really cool effect. And if you're wanting to maybe make this glow actually affect here or on her forehead, what you can do is you can go to brush. I'll just create a new layer, put it on top. You can go to the brush. Here's an alright size how it is. Make the opacity quite low, 15%, is alright. And if you're wanting to, so if we want that color, you hold down Alt on your keyboard, and then it'll bring up the color picker. So you just click on the blue, and then you have to go over to here and click switch, which will give the color that you want when you're drawing. So we probably want this before this layer, so it doesn't go on top of it. And then you can lightly paint around a bit on her forehead and like that. So this here is the final product. I reckon it looks awesome. This is actually the one I did before, but the same applies. As you can see, I did the same with the glasses and logos. and I also put a Google search bar here. Honestly, this is probably not the same way that he does it, it's probably similar, but he's a lot more experienced than I am, and he's done this kind of thing a lot. Obviously you can do this with a lot of different objects. You can do it with like actual physical objects, or you can keep to logos or whatever. You can actually be really creative with this. Yeah, it's definitely something I recommend, and yeah, I'll link his Instagram in the description if you want to look out and follow him. And yeah, he does awesome photos, and I recommend having a look. Thanks for watching this tutorial. I hope you learned something new. I've never actually done a tutorial like this before. I normally just post videos that I've made, and if you go over to my Instagram, it's just photos I've done. So yeah, let me know in the comments if I should do more tutorials like this. Thanks for watching.